New videos every day.
I like to know things.
I've always loved food, and I grew up in an Italian family, and anytime we were going to celebrate, it was going to be around the dinner table. Someone was cooking, we were going out to eat, someone was bringing food over. So I've always been a food enthusiast. And then when I was in college, I was majoring in international business, and I was enjoying the classes, but I felt like maybe it wasn't a great fit for me. And at the same time, my dad had been going through some health issues, having a lot of stomach problems, and he had started reading several nutrition books, and I kind of picked one up one day, and he was showing me what he'd been learning. And so it sparked my interest enough, and I enrolled in the just basic nutrition class at college and made an A, and that's really history. So I graduated with a degree in nutrition and absolutely love it, and that's really what is my passion, to help others become healthier. Good nutrition is really the foundation for health. I honestly believe that any physical condition, any diagnosis, any disease is going to be traced back to some nutrition element. If you have high cholesterol, it's because you're eating a high-fat diet or your liver's not working properly. If you are overweight, it's because you're eating excessive calories and you're not burning enough. If you have diabetes, it's possible that you are overweight and that you have a high sugar diet, and that's influencing how effective your pancreas is in secreting insulin and keeping up with all the sugar that's going in your system. So I believe that there's just a fundamental element to health, and that is nutrition. And when we leave that out, I really believe that we're cutting our life short by lots of years. We have, 100 trillion cells in our body, and each of our cells needs the 45 essential nutrients. It's going to be all the vitamins. We need all the micronutrients and macronutrients, carbohydrates, protein. We need essential fatty acids. There's all these things that our cells need. So if we aren't getting them in our food, our cells are suffering. Our 100 trillion cells that are swimming around in our bodies aren't getting the nutrients that they need. So no wonder we have all these health conditions, and no wonder people are dying early, and no wonder 20-year-olds are complaining of achiness and inflammation. And I knew someone who was 32 years old diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and it's all going back to the fact that we are putting food in our body that is not fuel for our cells. And that is really what we have to look at it as. We have to view food as fuel for ourselves. Now, if we're just eating because we like the taste of food and we just enjoy being with family and friends, we have to incorporate somehow healthy foods into our diet, otherwise we will die early. I do nutrition consulting. It's just a way to help people see what they're consuming and what they're taking in on a daily basis. So a lot of times I'll get them to do a 2-week journal and chart everything that they're eating, everything that they're drinking, even if it's a little peppermint. I want them to write it down. And then after the 2 weeks, we can look at it and I can assess how many calories and how much protein and how much sugar that they're getting, because a lot of people don't really understand how much they're eating or how many calories they're getting or what kinds of foods they're eating, because it's just they're going through their day, they're busy, they're focused, and they're just eating. And then I like to also take them grocery shopping, and this is a good way to just take them on a tour, show them what products are better choices. If their favorite food is spaghetti, I can take them down the noodle aisle and show them the whole wheat pasta. Maybe they've never purchased it before because they're just not familiar with it and they don't know if it's a good brand, if it's going to taste okay. So I can give them pointers on that, and the spaghetti sauce, show them ones that are lower in sugar and have more vegetables and have lower sodium. And so it's really helpful for them to kind of branch out from what they're used to buying. And then also I like to go into their homes and look in their pantries and get rid of all the stuff that is calling them in the middle of the night, all the high sugar foods and the high fat foods. And then we kind of follow that up with a grocery shopping tour thing so that they can find better choices to keep in their house. Because if it's not at your house, that's where you spend a lot of your time. So if you don't have cookies at home, then you are keeping yourself away from those temptations. I was working for an enzyme company in Houston, and it was a supplement company that focused on researching and producing digestive enzymes. And that was the first job that I had right out of college, so I was a little skeptic about supplements because my whole education was about focusing on food, getting nutrients from food, and really staying away from supplements and herbs because they could conflict with medications. And so when I started working for this company, I was doing all this research. I was in the clinical and technical support division, and I started seeing this recurring theme that these enzymes helped with a variety of health conditions. And at the time, my grandfather had been diagnosed with kidney disease, and he had really high creatinine, which is a byproduct of protein. And normal range is, I believe, 2.2, and his was up to 6.8, and which is definitely evidence that the kidneys are not functioning properly. And so he was really desperate, and I wanted to help him. We had a research clinic at the company where I worked, and so I brought him in and did some simple nutrition testing and determined some digestive enzymes that would help him break his foods down better and get nutrients to his cells. And he just had a dramatic change. He went from being grayish skin color, really having no appetite, losing a ton of weight. All of his medical tests and blood tests were, showing evidence that he was starting to degenerate and wasn't going to be around much longer. But it was probably about 6 weeks went by, and we had him over for Thanksgiving, and his cheeks were pink, and he ate, 2.5 plates of Thanksgiving meal, and and that was about 1.5 years ago, and he is just doing fabulous. He has gone back, almost every month to get more blood work done, and his creatinine has stayed much lower than 6.2. Actually, it's in the high 4s, which is still elevated for the normal individual, but his doctors say that, for his age and where he is right now, he's holding stable, and everything's looking great. He's still living by himself. He eats like a horse, and he has great energy, and it's so sweet because every time I go see him and spend time with him, it makes me real teary-eyed because he always says that I saved his life. But really, it was just taking a condition and helping someone digest their foods better, which you wouldn't necessarily think that there was a correlation between digesting foods better and kidney disease, but there absolutely was in this case, and he's all the better for it.